Namaste. Welcome to SLG Hello Doctor. Hope our fortnightly capsules of information are helping you gain a better understanding of all things health. In today's episode, we will learn about a common problem that we encounter, hernias. The most common misconception surrounding hernias is that it occurs only in men. Though it's partially true, hernias are known to occur in women and children as well. Research points out that the incidence is 27% in males and 3% in females. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions surrounding hernias. Let us try to bust some of them today with the help of our expert, Dr. Pradeep Pranigrahi, Medical Director at SLG Hello Doctor. Welcome, sir, to SLG Hello Doctor. We are so glad to have you here.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, doctor, let's start right at the beginning. What are hernias and what causes them?
Hernias are nothing but protrusion or extrusion of organs and tissue from inside the body through its cavity that is containing it to the outside surface. Hernias very commonly are seen between chest and the groin. So, a common man will see as a swelling, as a lump, and that can reduces when he lies down or when strain is not there, and it aggravates when there is a strain. That is hernias in a nutshell.
Thank you, doctor. So, what are the signs and symptoms of hernias?
The first complaint the patients will complain of is a swelling, it's a bulge. And anywhere it can be umbilicus, that is the belly button we call it, or the groin, or over the areas which have been operated earlier, particularly the cesarean sections in case of females, or any other surgeries on the abdomen wall. The next patient discomfort gets is a dragging discomfort or a pain comes a later part. Sometimes the patient complains of vomiting, nausea sensations, and sometimes there may be severe acute pain. That is when the hernia gets stuck, cannot go back. The blood circulation gets hampered and they will have severe pain. So these are the very common signs and symptoms what we come across in case of patients with hernias.
So, doctor, why is the incidence so high in males?
This basically is not that incidence are much higher in male and all that. The inguinal hernias are commonly seen in case of male. That is what we call as higher incidence because male has got a propensity of going hard works, gyms and many other things. Males are more prone for these things as many of the diseases like asthma or increased abdominal pressures situations like going to gym or doing strenuous activity quite often happens in case of males who don't take care of the situations. And otherwise actually the hernias will be seen in equal, particularly the incisional hernias, that is post surgeries. Those hernias doesn't discriminate with the male or female. Female we see quite often because female are more prone for pregnancy related hernias, that is the umbilical hernia, post surgery incisional hernias, and what you can say because of pregnancy the abdomen wall become very lax and loose because of two things, stretching because of pregnancy and the estrogen hormone which plays a role in making the muscle relaxed. And inguinal hernias particularly, a myth happens that quite often it's in male. It is actually equal in case of male and female. And the reason for seeing quite often in case of male is because the spermatic cord or what it goes to the inguinal canal long track is there. So thus leads to quite often diagnosed case of inguinal hernias in males. And there is no age wise related with the hernias. A child can have it, an adult can have it, or an elderly man can have it. Quite often it is seen in the elderly when the muscles become weak and either because of a disease process, debilitated conditions, or you can say strenuous conditions like asthma or cough, prolonged cough or constipations, when they strain for urine micturations, when there is a prostate enlargement, these are the main cause of hernias.
So, what kind of healthcare professionals should we go to for hernias?
Once you have a doubt that you are suffering from hernia, the best person to guide you is a doctor. A doctor means any doctor, it can be MBBS doctor ideally. He first sees you, particularly we can come across society, we call it family medicines or family doctors or family physicians. they are the best one because they know you pretty well. They know your profession, they know everything about you. They are the first one to diagnose you about your suffering, that you are suffering from hernia. Once they diagnose, they send you for a few investigations, or they directly refer you to the next person, next level, that is a surgeon. A general surgeon also deals with hernia. There are few surgeons who are expertly only especially dealing with hernias. In the West, we have called hernia societies and hernia surgeons and hernia centers. In India too, we are coming up with similar scenarios. We have formulated Society of Hernia as well as Society of Abdominal Wall Repair Surgeons. So these two societies exclusively deal only with hernias and various modalities of treatment of hernias, so that we come up with the best remedial method for our patients.
What is the modality for diagnosing hernias?
First modality of diagnosing a hernia is a perfect history taking. A good history taking almost clears 80% of hernia diagnosis. Next is the clinical examinations. I believe in physical touching of the patients and examining the patients so that we precisely diagnose whether suffering from hernia or no. If it is suffering from hernia, which site of hernia is he suffering, and whether hernia is simple or getting complicated. Once we are able to diagnose with clinical methods and history, we then take very simpler method of investigations like ultrasonography. Ultrasonography can diagnose 90% of the hernias. If in case we miss that and still we have element of doubt, we ask for a CT scan of the abdomen. That's enough. We don't require anything beyond that. Mostly we diagnose with three modalities: history taking, clinical examinations, and a good sonography.
What are the treatment options available for hernia management?
Hernia has to undergo surgery because hernia is a defect on the wall. It is a hole on the wall, it is containing the cavity, or the hole has become weak. So we have to repair it. But what time we should do it is important. Majority of hernias require attentions at the earliest. We call it at the earliest rather than immediate. So that scenario, we need to plan for what type of surgery we need to undergo. Whether it is a child, as I told you, or a newborn, or an adult, or an old man. Depending upon the symptom, we decide what time the intervention is best suited for. The aim of treatment of hernia is to avoid complications. Complications is the bowel should not get affected badly. So the modality of treatment available is basically surgery. Out of surgeries, in each and all surgeries, ideal method we do is use of mesh. We use a mesh to repair and strengthen the wall, except in case of children below the age of 14, where we go only for repairing that defect alone, so that the child, when it grows, the mesh should not be obstructing the growth of the child's abdominal wall. And the various modality of surgeries we offer is open or standard surgery. Next is laparoscopic surgeries, and then come the robotic surgeries. In laparoscopy, again we go ahead with, depending upon the sites, whether umbilical hernia we go for an IPOM, inguinal hernia we go for a tape and tap, and then we have extended, because technology comes, innovation comes, so we surgeons also have went a step forward and give them e-tape, e-tap as well as e-POM, and everything all together is nothing but extended of the same methodologies. So but whole aim is to give the best repair so that there is no recurrence or again coming back of hernias, as well as the patient has the least painful time. I am using the word least painful because I cannot say it can be painless. It will be a myth otherwise if I say it's painless.
So this is not a minimal invasive surgery?
It is a minimal invasive surgery, madam. All the hernias, laparoscopy and robotic, both are minimal invasive surgery. Even the inguinal hernia nowadays, what we do by open technique is almost like a minimal invasive, because we give a very small incision, hardly 3 finger width. 3 finger width incision, because skin is very elastic. We can stretch the skin as much as we like and then repair it and then close it.
Doctor, I've heard people wait out and see if a hernia heals itself. So is that a possibility, that a hernia is self-healing?
Hernia is never self-healing. There are people who go for methods of using a belt, truss or corsets. but they are only temporary method to hold it inside. It is not the permanent cure method. Once there is a defect, if there is a leak in the dam, does it heal on its own? We have to seal the leak. Its hernia is similar thing. It's a leak on the abdomen wall, so we have to seal it by repairs. We have to operate it, repair it. That's the only way treatment. There's no other way hernia can be treated.
So if one neglects it and doesn't address it for a long time, doesn't come to a doctor, then what happens?
That's called complications of the hernias. Such hernias get complicated, and complications is basically hernia, the contents are mainly the intestine and sometimes some tissue surrounding the intestines. So when such intestine and tissues get inside the hernia cavity, and when we cough more, it gets pushed more to the outside. So more content come to a small space. Since the neck is narrow and tight, it can become tightened further, and the blood circulation to the distal part get occluded or blocked. Then that part becomes dead. So then the patient starts getting severe pain, and slowly there will be the gangrene or the tissue becomes dead. Then we have to go for a major surgery, resect that part of the bowel and throw it and then suture it. So why to go for such complications? Is always prevention is better than cure. Come early, get repair done, and then go home happily.
Absolutely, doctor. Totally agreed. It's time for a short break now in SLG Hello Doctor.
Presenting SLG Hospitals, the next level medical destination. Envisioned by Sri Dandu Shivaramaraju and family. Powered by cutting-edge technology and compassionate care, this 999-bed tertiary care facility adopts the latest medical practices followed worldwide. Built as per JCI guidelines and NABH quality standards, SLG Hospitals offers a wide range of solutions for all simple to complex conditions in all specialties of medicine. SLG has been able to attract the best of medical talent due to its vision, sheer scale and scope. With matchless experience and expertise, they are SLG Hospital's biggest strength. The team is ably supported by advanced technologies, infrastructure and protocols to deliver finest outcomes for patients. SLG Hospitals, the next level of care.
Welcome back to SLG Hello Doctor. So doctor, I know you've answered this before, but just to be very clear, can hernias be managed non-surgically?
Hernias can never be managed non-surgically. It is only, I said, time of surgery to decide when to operate. We may wait for some cases because all hernias, like particularly umbilical hernias, they will have a bigger opening, so that may not complicate immediately. It takes time. But again, as I said, not necessarily all umbilical hernias or the belly button hernias need to be operated, because very small defect happens in the ladies. They come with a small defect, small swelling, where only the fat tissue is stuck. If it is stuck over there, we call that as a treatment. We can just seal the hole. We don't have to operate. But if the same thing causes pain or a dragging sensation to the lady, then we operate upon it.
So is there a way of preventing hernias at all?
Absolutely. So every disease, we always say prevention is better than cure. So in hernias, as I told you, the causes of hernias is like disease like asthma, where we cough a lot. So there is a pressure in the abdomen, it causes hernia. Constipations, chronic constipations is another cause of hernias. Straining during micturition or passing urine, that is because of prostate or some urethral stricture, other things can cause hernias. So we should visit early to treat these illnesses. Next is by habit, lifting heavy weights in an unconventional way, which causes pressure. Doing unusual strenuous exercises, which is beyond and causes undue pressure on the abdomen wall, causes hernias. So these things should be avoided. Next, we said the weak muscle is the root cause of hernias. So building a good muscle tone, regular exercises, good diet keeping obesity under control are the all good causes of prevention of hernias.
What are the expectations following a surgery for hernia? How does one take care of oneself, or how does a family member take care of the patient?
This question has got two sides. One is the patient's expectations from the surgeon, and the second is the surgeon's expectations from the patients. So when the patient expectations from the surgeon is concerned, patient expects that my hernia should never come back again. Patient expects that post hernia surgery I should have a pain-free life. Patient expects that the hernia should give minimal scar. The surgery should give minimal scar. Absolutely, that is what we are promoting, the laparoscopic or minimal access surgeries, where stay in the hospital is less, hardly 1 day, and it's a painless, nearly painless periods, post-op as well, very less pain. Third is scar is concerned, it is nearly invisible scars or very lightly thin scars which can go off subsequently. Second part is concerned, what is the surgeon's expectations from the patient? There we come, because if the patient wants no recurrences, the hernia should not come back, the patient should follow up the things what the surgeon advises. Number one thing is never to strain immediately for couple of periods of time what we designated and explained to the patient. Number two, never hesitate to visit the surgeon in case you have excessive pain or unusual feelings. Earlier the symptoms of complication diagnosed, better the results. Third thing, diet and exercises as mentioned by the surgeon. It should start from the day what we advise during discharges. And the next part comes, one more which we missed, is the expectations from the attendants. The people who attend the patient also have some expectation what they should do at home. The best thing is minimal access surgery. When we do minimal access surgery, we make the patient walk on the same day of evening of the surgery. So the patient becomes the attender for self at the earliest. So they take care of themselves. So only point, whenever there is chance of any discharge from the wound, then please make sure you visit the doctor at the earliest so that you don't miss the surgical site infections, which actually is the main cause for mesh infections below and the most important cause for hernia resections or recurrences.
So once the hernia is operated and managed, recurrence is a possibility?
It is always there. We cannot give 100% guarantee in anything in life. Similarly, the hernia surgeries. So recurrences can happen. We always explain the patients, recurrence can vary from 10 to 30%. But it all depends, because as I said, the doctor's responsibility, the patient responsibility, the attendant's responsibility. When all the three responsibilities together goes in a proper one direction, then there is no recurrences.
So is the recurrence in the same place or some other place?
Recurrences can happen in the same place or a little nearby to that place. This happens only when there is a mesh, transmigration of the mesh or folding of the mesh. Folding of the mesh is not a technical issue. It is all because post-op, if the patient coughs, strains or doesn't take the due precautions what has been told, then the mesh folds onto itself and causes a gap alongside through which hernia recurs.
So doctor, in our introduction, we said we are here to bust some myths about hernias. So can you do that for us?
Sure, ma'am. Basically, the first and foremost important myth what people think is hernias are hereditary. No, it is never hereditary. It never runs in families. Hernias can happen to anyone and anybody. It all depends. It's a weakness. Weaknesses are not meant in everybody's and everyone's cases. Number two myth is people think that doing very hard work and strenuous work leads to hernia. No, it is improper. If you do it properly, it never leads to hernias. It is improper. Third myth people feel is by using a belt or a corset or a truss prevents the hernia for life. No, it's only temporary methodology till the time you decide your surgery and reach your doctor. It is never a permanent. Rather, an improperly used belt or truss or corset can complicate the hernia when they come with huge, people have come with us with huge hernias, we call it a scrotal abdomen, using a belt, tying the belt very tightly at the inguinal canal and leading to the gangrene of the bowel down below. So this is what we want to communicate to society, that these are the 3 myths. Please kindly don't go by it, and once hernia, get treated early, get diagnosed early.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for joining us at SLG Hello Doctor and putting out the facts about hernias so clearly for us.
Thank you, madam. It's my pleasure, ma'am.
If you have left any questions for our expert in the chat box on YouTube, be assured that you'll get your answers shortly. If you haven't yet done it, do it right away. We are talking about subscribing to the SLG Hello Doctor YouTube channel. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified from time to time about these very interesting episodes. We'll be back 2 weeks from now with yet another interesting topic. See you back here, safe and healthy. Namaste.